Hi everyone! Today you're going to learn how to draw a super cute 3D Frosty the Snowman cupcake in this fun step-by-step tutorial. With vibrant Posca paint markers and a little holiday magic, we're going to bring Frosty to life. Let's get started. Well, I'd like to share my sketch with you. Let's identify the forms. So you can see we're going to have a cylinder for the base of the cupcake and the hat, and then we're going to have 3 spheres with the body, the head, and then the cherry. And this is our color palette, and once again, I'll be holding up the markers, and I'll be calling out the names of these colors as we use them. And I like to get the motion down first, so you see I'm moving it in a circular motion, and I put my pencil onto the paper. This is going to be the body of the snowman. Now pay attention to the proportions. How big is the head in relationship to the body? You'll see the head is smaller. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and place the 2 dots. So this is going to be the width of our cupcake wrapper. Now I foreshorten circle. And these lines on the left and the right, they taper down, they get closer together. And then the base of the cupcake, we're going to make sure that we match that same curve. So we're curving a line down, matching that same curve, and we draw the bottom of the cupcake. We're going to add some fun drips now. So Frosty's melting a little bit, and it's also creating some overlapping as well. Overlapping is a 3D drawing technique. We're going to turn the shape into a form just by curving a line to the right and curving a line up. Now Frosty's looking to the right and his head is looking up. We're also going to curve a line to the right on the belly, and that's where the buttons are going to go. All right, let's go ahead and work on the expressions. We're going to draw 2 ovals. One is going to be larger and the one on the right is going to be smaller. That's size. Objects that are closest or bigger, they get smaller off in the distance. We have 2 white circles inside of the eye. And now we're going to draw the cone. So this is going to be the carrot nose. So I'm curving a line to the left. And then I'm going to draw the shape of the carrot nose. We're going to use some cross contour lines that curve around it. So these are lines that are curving to the left. I'm going to go over the outline of the carrot and just kind of make the lines a little bit more wavy. It's going to make this carrot look a little bit more organic looking. So we don't want it to look like just a cone, right? And the smiley face, we're going to draw circles, and these circles are going to be a little bit larger. And as they move around to the right side of the face, we're going to make them a little bit smaller and a little bit smaller. These 2 dots establish the width of Frosty's hat. So 2 dots and a foreshortened circle, so it looks like that line is actually curving around the sphere. I'm going to darken these lines up a little bit so you can see the snowman's head. I'm going to darken up underneath the hat as well. Okay, we're going to make the shape of the top hat. So I'm going to draw these lines that this one's going to curve a little bit to the right, and this one's going to curve a little bit to the left. And now the top of the hat, I'm going to match that line right there, right? The line that curves up. Trying to match those 2 curves. We're going to once again match that line that curves up. That's a little band that goes around his hat. We're going to put a little whipped cream and a cherry topping on top of his hat. So I'm just curving lines to the left. And then with these drips, I want some variety. So some are going to be shorter, some are going to go down further. And now I'm drawing lines that curve to the right. We're going to have a circle. We're not going to see the bottom of it. It's called overlapping. All right, we're going to go ahead now and move on to the scarf. So once again, this is a cylinder, so I'm going to be drawing a line that matches that same curve down. And this scarf is underneath his chin. I'm going to curve a line to the right, and on the other side, I'm going to curve a line to the left. We're going to draw 2 lines down, and they're actually going to get a little bit further apart. So now these lines, once again, when we get near the bottom, we're making those lines a little bit further apart. Curving a line down, adding the pattern. We're going to add another little line down here, shorter, and then curving a line down. We're going to now add the buttons. So I'm going to start off with a circle, and then I'm going to start creating a little bit of a wavy line around them so it looks like they've actually kind of melted into the snow. We're not going to add a fun detail, so we're going to make our snowman look like he's melting a little bit. So we're going to have some variety here. So some of these drips are going to be longer, some shorter. These drips are also creating overlapping. So once again, overlapping is a 3D drawing technique. It's creating an illusion of space, making this flat piece of paper appear to be 3-dimensional. Okay, we're going to add a few more drips now here on the body of the snowman. And one of our drips here at the very end, you can notice it's going to be the one that's going to be creating the pool of water that's at the base of our snowman. All right, let's move on to erasing our construction lines. This is always a good idea. Sometimes it can get confusing. What lines do we keep? What lines are we going to outline? And then we could obviously clean it up a little bit more after we're done outlining with these markers. So these markers are waterproof. And one is for fine detail and one is going to be for a little bit thicker of an outline. So the Sharpie is going to be the thicker one. So you definitely want a waterproof outlining marker. And like I said, the fine detailed ones are pretty much a necessity, especially with these type of kawaii style and chibi style eyes. You get all those little fine details. So all the inlines I'm doing with the fine tip marker and with the Sharpie here. Once again, the bold outline on the left hand side. I have dark red, red, coral pink, and white. So I'm starting with the coral pink, tinting it with some white, and then on the left-hand side, I'm adding the red and then the dark red. For the whipped cream, we're going to use robin green and white. So I'm going to lay down the robin green on the left-hand side just a little bit, and then with the white Posca paint marker, you're going to notice that I'm actually creating a tint. I'm creating a lighter value, and then I'm going to go back and reestablish the darker values with the robin green again. For Frosty's head, I have black, gray, and white. So I'm going to go with the black first. I'm then going to go ahead and use the gray to start blending a darker gray value. And then now I'm going to go ahead and add the black underneath the hat. And then the last step is I'm going to add a little bit of a gray on that line that's curving up to make it look like there's a little bit more of an edge or thickness to the hat. So dark red, red, and coral pink. And I'm actually just going to start with the darker value. And then I'm going to pull it with the medium value, and then the coral pink, I'm pulling the red value to the right. So for the snow, I'm going to go in with light blue and white. And I'm using that same technique where I'm just going to put down a little thin area of the light blue, and then I'm going to pull it with the white marker. That's going to tint it. It's going to make a lighter value of blue. And I'm shading towards the light source. So my lighter values are going to the right-hand side. That's where the light source is. Once I've created my tints, you can see I'm going back with the light blue to add those shadows back in. And then we're also going to add this to the left side of the drips as well. Okay, now I have gray and white. And I'm going to establish the gray value on the left-hand side. And I'm going to use the white marker to create that gradation of values. So I'm going to go from dark gray to medium gray to light gray. Then on a scrap piece of paper, I'm going to work that gray marker off the tip of my white marker. And I'm just going to add the white lines into the wrapper. Frosty's nose, we're going to be using the apricot, bright orange, and orange. I'm going in with the lighter value first, the apricot, and then I'm going to on the top, and then I'm going to add in the bright orange on the bottom, and then a little bit of the regular orange. For the scarf, I have light green, green, and white. So I'm going to be creating a pattern with the green, light green, green, light green, but also want to add some value. So once I establish the dark green, I am going to use the light green marker to make it a little bit lighter. And then with the light green, I'm going to use the white marker to make it a little bit lighter on the right-hand side. So once again, just applying a little bit of value makes this appear to be three-dimensional. Okay, we're going to work on the snowflake pattern. So we have robin green, red, pink, and coral pink. I'm going to try to keep it simple, so I'm just going to draw 2 dots and then a line, a vertical line, and then 2 dots and a horizontal line, and then the letter X. I'm doing them in different sizes and different colors. So once again, we're using variety. Okay, we're going to work on the buttons and also the smiley face. So I'm going in with black, and this is the 3M. It's got a finer tip on it. And then I'm going to add a little bit of the gray on the right-hand side, so it appears that the light source is hitting it on the right-hand side. The Posca 3M marker does come in handy for the smaller details, and I wish I had them for the snowflake pattern, but I just was using a 5M for those. So on Tuesday, I'm going to get my Black Friday Posca markers in 105 Posca markers in both 5M and 3M sizes, so I'm so excited. I'll also do a reveal and a color wheel. And now that the paint is dry, I'm going to go in and start adding some highlights with the white Posca paint marker. Wow, Frosty's looking amazing, guys. So we have light blue and white. So I'm going to go in and establish the lighter values first. So I'm going to go in with the light blue. I'm going to tint it a little bit with some of the white Posca paint marker. And then we're going to go back into that with the sky blue. That's going to be the darker paint marker and adding in that darker value. So in review, value adds depth and dimension to your artwork. So we're always trying to use value with these Posca paint markers. If we just use one color, it's going to make everything look flat. And just by going in with a little bit of white, you noticed we can easily go in and create different gradations of color, different gradations of value. Wow, Frosty turned out absolutely amazing. Look at that adorable face, the perfect whipped cream swirl, the cherry on top, and those fun melting drips. It's cuteness overload. Well, this 3D Frosty Snowman cupcake is the ultimate holiday treat, and I hope you had as much fun creating it as I did. Share this video with a friend to spread the holiday cheer, and watch more videos. Check out my cute cupcake playlist. Catch you on the next one.